We all love to define ourselves as rational beings. We believe that we make our decision based on all the relevant facts and data. Some of us go one step further to define that any bias does not influence me. I am a just person. I never think emotionally. But is this the reality? Have you ever heard of the term bias blind spot? It says that we tend to believe that we are less biased than other people. This is because we have grown so used to seeing the world through our mind frame, it is nearly impossible for us to accept that our thinking pattern is biased. Now think again. Are you a rational person? I hope the answer will be a little less biased. In this series, we will talk about the 25 most important cognitive biases with day-to-day examples. Just applying half of the knowledge gained by these videos can double your thinking efficiency and help you to make better decisions. Before beginning the discussion, this series covers all the necessary details of these biases. But if you are interested in knowing further about any topic, let me know in the comment section. Comment the name of the bias and I'll make a detailed video on it. So let's start right now. The first bias on our list is the availability bias. Whenever we want to estimate the frequency or magnitude of any event, our mind takes a shortcut and starts looking at the number of cases available. If you can easily recall some instances, your brain starts assuming that this event is frequent. For example, which of these causes more deaths? Tornadoes or asthma? Paul Slovic, Sarah Lichtenstein, and Baruch Fischoff conducted a study on public perception of risk. Here's a sample of their findings. Tornadoes were seen as more frequent killers than asthma, although asthma causes 20 times more deaths. This happens because news channels prefer to show events that can have a high emotional impact, so we think that they occur more frequent. Another fascinating and widely experienced case is who contributes more towards keeping peace in the relationship or a joint project. If you ask people to tell about their percentage share and add all those numbers, the answer will be greater than 100%. This is because our contribution is readily available to our minds. So we start thinking the other person is not contributing enough. You can avoid this bias by asking yourself, am I really contributing more? Or is it just because I am unable to recall other people's contribution? The next on our list is loss aversion or zero risk bias. Which option will you choose? Get $900 for sure or 90% chance to get $1,000? If you are like most people, you will choose option A. This is due to our tendency of loss aversion. We give more weight to avoiding loss than to making gains. Having a surety of gaining $900 causes our mind to perceive the other option as losing the money. People feel more negatively about the pain that accompanies loss than they think positively about the pleasure associated with profit. Insurance companies exploit this bias to their advantage. We prefer avoiding significant but unlikely losses so much that we forget the small regular payments we make. However, I'll strongly recommend you to have a medical and life insurance. This bias harms our prospective gains as we focus more on the risk of any investment than its possible benefits. So to avoid this bias, try to think about the long-term effect. You can check my video on second-order thinking to know more. The link is in the description box. The next bias in our list is the sunk cost fallacy. This is arguably the favorite bias of economists. The sunk cost fallacy keeps people for too long in poor jobs, unhappy marriages, and unpromising research projects. Consider this case. Two avid sports fans plan to travel 40 miles to see a basketball game. One of them paid for his ticket. The other was on his way to purchase a ticket when he got one free ticket from a friend. A snowstorm is announced for the night of the game. Which of the two ticket holders is more likely to brave the storm and see the game? The answer is immediate. We know that the fan who paid for his ticket is more likely to drive. The ticket price in this case is a sunk cost. The sunk cost is the amount of money that is gone and you cannot recover it. But still, we make our future decisions based on these costs. Avoid this bias by keeping this phrase in your mind. The rest of my life begins from now. Don't get influenced by the losses or investments which can't be recovered. The next bias in this list is my favorite. It's the curse of knowledge. Sounds depressing. Let's find out how you can break this curse. A Stanford University student, Elizabeth Newton, conducted an experiment in the 1990s. She assigned people two roles, tapper and listener. The tapper will tap out the rhythm of a famous song and the listener will try to guess it. The tappers were asked to predict how many songs will be guessed right. They predicted a 50% success ratio. But the listeners were able to guess the song only 2.5% times. Why? Because once we know something, say the melody of a song, we find it hard to imagine not knowing it. Too much knowledge about anything hinders our ability to understand things from the perspective of other less informed people. Avoid this by starting with the basic stuff first. Try to understand the knowledge level of your audience and then go into the technicality. Next in our list is an automobile bias, the bandwagon effect, aka group thinking. we are highly influenced by the pressures and norms exerted by groups. As more people adopt a particular trend, the more likely it becomes that other people will also hop on the bandwagon. We do this as we always want to be on the right side, and we have FOMO, fear of missing out. To avoid becoming a victim of this, seek to add objective and critical thinking as a group activity. So, the moral of the story is calculate your contributions by keeping the availability bias in mind. Take risks. Life is either a daring adventure or nothing at all. Keep in mind that the rest of your life begins from now. While explaining anything, first gauge the experience level of your audience. Don't do something just because n number of people are doing it. If you are new to this channel, please subscribe to make sure you never miss any video. Here's the next part of this series.